Are we not men?
Welcome to the sanctuary. I'm Kyle, and I'm here to tell you, never be afraid to step into the pleasure den of the absurd. It's Monster Monday. And this is where we talk about that great film genre, the monster movie. And we're going to be talking about this movie here, The Island of Lost Souls, from 1932. But let's, excuse me, ape hair. It's everywhere. In 2023, there's a lot of real and scary talk in just what is planned for people's DNA. And another guy, way back when, had a similar idea about such things. And his name was H.G. Wells. And he is the man that whose book this movie is based from. And this DVD here was put out by the Criterion Collection, and they really did a good job on this one. Using my tool, I'm going to see. Look at that. Read the back of the box. This is the DVD edition, 1932, 70 minutes, black and white, monaural, 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio. This movie stars Charles Laughton, Bela Lugosi, Richard Arlen, Leila Hyams, and the Panther Woman. Screenplay by Philip Wiley and Valdemar Young. From The Island of Dr. Moreau by H.G. Wells. Directed by Earl C. Kenton. This is a classic made by Universal Pictures, the same Universal that brought us the original Dracula and Frankenstein and the Wolfman and the Bride of Frankenstein and all those great monster movies we all love. Here's a picture of Lota, the Panther Woman, played by actress Kathleen Burke. She is the highest creation that the evil Dr. Moreau has created. Here's Charles Laughton as the sinister Dr. Moreau. And here's the great Bela Lugosi in full makeup as the sayer of the law. And one of the things they always repeat, are we not men? Well, let us read the back of the box to see just what this movie is about. A twisted treasure from Hollywood's pre-code horror heyday, Island of Lost Souls is a cautionary tale of science run amok, adapted from H.G. Wells' novel, The Island of Dr. Moreau. In one of his first major movie roles, Charles Laughton is a mad doctor conducting ghastly genetic experiments on a remote island in the South Seas, much to the fear and disgust of the shipwrecked man, played by Richard Arlen, who finds himself trapped there. This touchstone of movie terror, directed by Earl C. Kenton, features expressionistic photography by Carl Struss groundbreaking makeup effects that have inspired generations of monster movie artists, and the legendary Bela Lugosi in one of his most gruesome roles. This is a this is one that'll stay with you after you watch it. It's one of the great horror movies of the 1930s, and really should get mentioned much more often, or as much as Dracula or Frankenstein or Son of Frankenstein even. So essentially, Dr. Moreau is taking animals like pigs or dogs or horses and turning them into more human. He's trying to turn them into, like, give them human characteristics, like standing upright or having them talk. And so he has these, he terrorizes them with his whip, and they call his lab the House of Pain, because he'll do these surgeries on these creatures and build these creatures without anesthetic, and they're screaming in pain. And so Lota, the Panther Woman, is the one that most closely resembles a human. But each of these creatures, he has them recite these, like, we'll just call them commandments. They're laws, like, what is the law? And, they recite these things in essence to, get them to think more like a human and less like a beast, so it's ghastly, especially when, like, with the 1930s, they always had somebody run up to the camera, or like real slow and with that sinister, dark, and well lit black and white photography. It's eerie, man, when these creatures, come to you, and especially too when they pan down, and you'll see some of them still have hooves and stuff like that, so it is ghastly, it is sinister. And so this guy finds himself on the island, and Dr. Moreau's trying to be hospitable to them, but then he's like, well, let's take this experiment further. Let's have the man mate with Lota, and that's his sinister plan to take it even farther. But eventually, the beasts, they sort of live in their own little conclave on the island there, and once this guy gets on the island, and they start watching what's going on and things that are happening, eventually the beasts, the humans get to finally leave the island. The beasts get their revenge on Dr. Moreau and the House of Pain, and it's all over. And with Bela Lugosi and the way he spoke, he's dressed up in this, like hairy sort of dog man, wolf creature or something, he's like, the House of Pain, and it's, he really delivers that line, and it's kind of interesting. Bela Lugosi originally turned down the role of the Frankenstein monster because it relied much more on makeup, and he just felt that the acting style for this creature, it wasn't for him. So, he had already done Dracula, so he was famous for that, but later on, we see, just a year after Dracula, he's putting on makeup, and it's one of his most iconic roles, as is Igor the blacksmith in Son of Frankenstein. They put him in a wig, they give him some gnarly teeth, they put a dent in his neck because he was supposedly hanged and didn't die, so... But there was a few other roles that Lugosi would do in makeup. So, I mean, that's the point, I guess, is that he learned, after Karloff's success playing the monster, and Lugosi actually did end up playing the monster in Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman. So, I mean, Lugosi is a great actor, whether he's wearing heavy makeup or not, and that's the great thing about Bela Lugosi. So I just want to read you some of the features that are on this DVD, because Criterion did a great job with this one. So check this out: DVD Special Edition features. You get a new digital restoration of the uncut theatrical version, and you have to remember that movies made before 1934, those things are known as pre-code. That's when, this guy Hayes tried to instill a little bit of, more stringent rules as far as what they could show on the screen. I mean, they were showing full nudity in some of these early pre-code films, and even afterwards, some of the independent roadshow guys were getting away with it, because they weren't, they didn't have to abide by that. But anyway, you get an audio commentary featuring film historian Gregory Mank, a new conversation between filmmaker John Landis, Oscar-winning makeup artist Rick Baker, and genre expert Bob Burns. You get new interviews with horror film historian David J. Skal, filmmaker Richard Stanley, the original director of the ill-fated 1996 adaptation. That was the one that had Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando playing Dr. Moreau. And it also has Gerald Casale and Mark Mothersbaugh of the band Devo. Their interviews are really nice because they talk about, how this film, amongst other things, inspired them, and so this DVD also includes a short 1976 film by Devo that features the songs "Secret Agent Man" and "Jocko Homo." That's a pretty cool little film, and that's the kind of stuff you used to see on the USA Network's Night Flight back in the day. That was, they would show stuff like this, these short films like by Devo, and weird movies like this too. It was a great show. You get a stills gallery, theatrical trailer, plus the booklet that I showed you some of the pictures from. So it's really good. And they're playing around with this kind of stuff in scary and dangerous ways in 2023. And you can go to visit the United States Naval Intelligence website and read an article about it. Oh boy. But forget about that. Go watch this movie. It's great. Great movie to watch on Halloween or anytime. Watch it late at night when you can't sleep. Ooh, boy. And with that, I just want to thank you for watching. And as always, if you like the video, then please click the thumbs up button. And if you really like what we do, which is just set the camera down and look into it and hold stuff up and talk about it, well, subscribe to the channel. Click all notifications so you always know when a new video is uploaded. And like, comment, share, subscribe. I don't care what order you do it in. Have you ever seen Island of Lost Souls? Have you seen the 1996 adaptation? What are some of your favorite creatures from this movie? There's creatures aplenty for sure. And with that, I want to thank you again for watching. And monster movies may not always be great movies, but it is a great genre nonetheless. And with that, you're always welcome to visit me here in the sanctuary, whether it be on Monster Monday or Something Weird Sunday, or any day of the week that you choose to watch these videos when you find them. You're always welcome to visit me here in the pleasure den of the absurd.